This is WAEC June 2023 General Mathematics Paper 2, and we're answering question number 1b, and the question reads: if you have fraction x over y, which takes this value 2, and you have another fraction y over z, which is having this value 3. The question asks is to find what will now be the value of this fraction, and the fraction has x plus y as it is numerator, and y plus z as it is denominator. It is this fraction that we wanted to find it as a value, but given x over y is equals to 2 and y over z is equals to 3. So let's attempt to answer this question together. Solution to the problem: what we do first is to copy the given fraction that we wanted to find it as a value. So next, now do you look at this very fraction? Now try to re-express this very fraction by doing all the operations that are allowed in mathematics so that you not change the fraction entirely. Do that all that is possible so that somewhere you have x over y and you have y over z somewhere only. So that you can now replace x over y by 2 and you can now replace y over z by 3. So in attempting to do that, we will divide both the numerator and the denominator by y. This is allowed in mathematics, provided you divided numerator and divided denominator by the same quantity. This is allowed, the fraction remains the same. Division of numerator by y means x divided by y and this y also divided by y. That will give result x over y plus 1. And the division of the denominator by y means y divided by this y and z divided by y. If that is done correctly, you now have 1 plus z over y. You can see in this fraction I have x over y, which I can replace by this number 2. But the second I have is z over y instead y over z. But this 2, y over z, and z over y, they are simply reciprocal of each other. It is z over y that I have here. So this z over y is nothing but the reciprocal of y over z, which is 1 over y over z. If you divided this one by y over z, simply means 1 times z over y, which eventually gives you z over y. So which means if I'm going to replace the z over y, I will now put 1 over 3 here. That is the reciprocal of 1 over y over z. So let me just go on and substitute. So x over y will be replaced by 2, and this z over y will now be replaced by 1 over 3. So you're going to have something like this: 2 instead x over y, then plus 1. This is very 1 over 1, which is copied. Instead z over y, you now put 1 over 3, which is reciprocal of 1 over y over z. So what remains is to now simplify this very fraction. So 1 plus 2 gives you 3, and 1 plus 1 over 3. Using LCM, you now have 4 over 3. And you're now dividing 3 by this fraction 4 over 3, which you now change it to multiplication by multiplying by reciprocal of 4 over 3, which is 3 over 4. So you have 3 times 3 over 4, which gives you 2 whole number 1 over 4. That is 3 times 3, 9 over 4. And 9 over 4 changed to mixed fraction is what gives you this 2 whole number 1 over 4. So this is the value of this very fraction x plus y all over y plus z. And that answered this very question. Let me just share with you how marks were distributed in the official WAEC marking scheme of this very paper. And the very first mark is the method 1 mark, and this method 1 mark, you have it in attempt to re-express this very fraction to have x over y and y over z somewhere. So you have this method 1 mark. The next mark is another method 1 mark, where you now substitute correctly x over y by 2 and z over y by 1 over 3. If that is done correctly, you have this method 1 mark. In attempting to simplify this very fraction, you have another method 1 mark. And when you now have the final result as to whole number 1 over 4 correctly, you have this accuracy 1 mark. So in total, this question has also 4 good marks.